All right, so let us begin. So in the last class, what we saw is we talk about Ranguta methods, right? And then we see the truncation error in the Ranguta method, and then based on that, we talk about the convergence of Ranguta method, right? So where we had a theorem which basically derives an error bound first and then prove the convergence of the Ranguta method, right? So that is how this was, which was that is what we did last time. So today we will continue from there, right? So we will try to develop a corollary from that, and then we talk a little bit more about other types of Ranguta methods as well. So we will begin with a corollary. So this is again something very similar to what we have done in Euler method, right? So where we first derive the truncation error, and then based on that, we see that the convergence is basically order of h to the power m. So here the error in this convergence is order of h to the power m. So basically the convergence is of order of h to the power m, right? So right, so we will see how to do this, right? So so let us assume. Okay, so you know that if the truncation error is order of h to the power m plus 1, so you will have a term with h to the power m plus 1, and then h to the power m plus 2, and h to the power m plus 3, right? So because h is small, h to the power m plus 1 will be the dominant term. So you can have a coefficient pi of tn, right? And then you can write it as it is, right? So we are. Okay, so now what we do is let us also assume Okay, so also further we assume that, right? So this one is because of this assumption, right? Or but it's given in the hypothesis. So you take it as this. And then you know by using the condition that capital F satisfies the Lipschitz condition, right? And also you remember you have a delta H, which is basically F minus F supremum. So here you take the derivative of that with respect to Y, right? So that also will let us assume that this goes to 0, right? Right, so by using this, right, so by using this we shall derive the following formula. Again, this kind of results we derived in Euler method as well, right? So here, by using the fact that Tn is of order h to the power m plus 1, so you write this as pi of Tn times h to the power m plus 1 and order of h to the power m plus 2. And so basically phi of Tn is determined by using the solution and F, the right hand side, and also we are assuming that capital F satisfies that condition, and then also delta 1H is the supremum of this, and this goes to 0, right? So we shall derive that the error in this approximation y of Tn minus yh of Tn, that is assuming yh is the computed value at Tn and capital Y is the real value at the Tn. So that's basically the error will satisfy equation d times d to the power d of Tn times h to the power n m plus the rest is order of h to the power m plus 1. So this is basically a polynomial on h pi h to the power h with the first term being h to the power n, and that will be the dominant term. So the coefficient of h to the power m d will satisfy a initial value problem which looks like d prime is equal to the partial derivative of small f times d plus this pi, right? And the initial value at d naught is 0, right? So we can derive such kind of a formula here, right? So that is how we get the uh, thing, right? So here you can see that basically this error is of order of h to the power m, right? So hence you can easily see that. Right, so it is of order of h to the power m. So you can see that this one will be the dominating power of h because of this. Right, so that is how we do this error. Right. Okay, so this is how what we need to learn about Ranguta methods, right? So basically these are explicit Ranguta methods, right? At the same time, we can have implicit Ranguta methods as well, right? So because the implicit Ranguta methods, you know, you will have y n plus 1 on both sides, right? So here you will have yn on one side and yn plus 1 on the other side. But in implicit Ranguta method, you will have both yn plus 1 on both sides of the formula, right? So in Euler formula, you know that the Ranguta method, the Euler formula, you know that implicit and explicit, this is a difference, right? Right, so explicit is this, and this is implicit, right? So in Euler formula, so here you know you have some capital F here, right? So here again, similar kind of thing you can derive for Ranguta method as well, right? So that is not a big thing, right? But we shall derive those kind of Ranguta methods as well. Right? So we will briefly touch that explicit implicit Ranguta method, right? And then we will come back to order and other concepts of Ranguta method later, right? So first we will introduce the implicit Ranguta method, and then we will start talking about the order and error constant and all the other stuff we studied with the linear multi-step method, right? So we'll start with implicit now. Right, so here the summation of bj yj will go all the way up to s, right? So and also the z will go all the way up to s, right? So in there you go up to I minus 1, right? So here we go all the way up to I minus 1 in the explicit method, but here in the implicit method, you go all the way up to S, right? So that's a difference, right? So this part is the difference. You can see if you compare the formulas, right? So there we have all the way up to I minus 1, and here we go all the way up to S, right? So that's a difference. So that's why it is called implicit and the other one is called explicit. So now you can see the Butcher table again, right? So in the explicit formula, you see that you did not have, right, the first component. Okay, so you did not have the first component, but here it is the different. Right, so this is the difference, right? So in the implicit you can explicit, you would have seen that this whole thing is 0, right? So we set this to be 0, and then we have a lower triangular tabular, right? So that is what you had in implicit, right? But here the explicit, sorry, in the explicit you have a lower triangular and C1 0 and all the others, the first row to be 0, but in implicit you don't have that kind of a difference, right? So you have all the components of all the slots in this table is filled, right? C1 up to CS, A11 up to ASS, or the matrix is filled, and also the B1 up to BS is filled, right? So that's the difference. Right, so that is how you define the implicit Ranguta method, right? So that's a way you define implicit Ranguta method, right? So now what we are going to do is to, since you know the implicit formula, right, and then you know how to rearrange that to an explicit formula, now we can stick with this as a formula, as a structure for the general S-step Ranguta method, right? So when we talk about general S-step Ranguta method, then we can stick with this structure, right? Which is the implicit form. And then by setting things appropriately, you can see that it can always be reduced to explicit as well. So let me put that as a remark here, right? Sorry, this is 2-1 now. Sorry for all J grade. Okay, so in general, now because we know the implicit formula, right? So we can see the general Ranguta method, right, as the implicit method, right? So when we say stage Ranguta method, we just mean implicit method, right? And then by setting these coefficients to be 0, will give you a special case that turned out to be the explicit Ranguta method, right? So, but because to understand the Ranguta method, we go in the reverse way, right? So we start with the explicit, which is seems to be easier one, right? And then we see the table form and everything, and then we talk about error and analysis, and then eventually we come to this implicit method. But theoretically, you have implicit method as the regular Ranguta method, right? So when you read other books, textbooks, right? So this is what you will see when they say an S-stage Ranguta method, they will just talk about this table, right? And then in this table, they put these coefficients to be 0 as a special case, which eventually will give you the explicit Ranguta method, right? So even in the old exam papers or any other books, when you just say, when you see a stage Ranguta method, they just means the implicit Ranguta method, right? So just for your understanding only, I go in the other order. I start with the explicit formula and then come to implicit formula. But in general, they will just stick with the explicit formula, and then they will say that as the S-stage Ranguta method, and then eventually they will follow the rest. Okay, so now we have this as the, now so from now on, when I say S-stage Ranguta method, this is the table I'm going to talk about, right? Or the formation which associated with this table is what I'm going to talk about, right? So in that case, we are going to see certain things, right? So first step is, let us focus on the,
Excuse me, sir.
right? So let us talk about certain things, right? So first of all, we will talk about order, right? Order of the method. But before that, I will, okay, so you know the strictly lower triangular formula and everything. Okay, so first we will talk about the how to see the solution of the implicit Ranguta method, right? So let's see this. Again, I will write this as a remark. Hello, Miss.